We have a lot to learn from nature and the cycles of the seasons. Today is the shortest day of the year. As I'm saying this, the sun is on its way down, even though we're right in the middle of the day. And it means that we're going to have the longest night. But I've always wondered, guys, is it tonight that's the longest night, or was it yesterday night? Apparently, they're just half a minute or so apart, so they alternate depending on the year. Obviously, to human eyes, they're indistinguishable from each other. In fact, 2 or 3 days away from today, we can't tell the difference in the length of the days because, of course, the days are only about a minute apart, right? But today is the official start of winter, even though in the meteorological calendar, try saying that 3 times, it actually starts on the 1st of December. Did you know that? I didn't actually know that till recently, but I know that the official start of winter is in fact today. Now, why do I say we have a lot to learn from nature? If you look at the ancient times, right, this is thousands of years ago in Europe where they had these seasons, right? If you look at the symbols of the festivals that we have in winter, the pine tree, which is now obviously morphed into the Christmas tree, and you have the holly, the ferns, the cypress trees, the chestnut trees. These things were symbols of the things that the ancient people saw during the coldest, deadest part of the year. Now, if you weren't born in that era, or you came from a different part of the planet and you landed, say, from the equator in the north, you would witness what seems to you as the end of the world, right? Everything was dying, everything was falling, the leaves were falling off all of the trees. This white substance covers everything that was green before. It's cold. Unless you have fire, you're not going to make it till the next season, right? So as far as you're concerned, it was the end of the world. But then out of nowhere come these red berries that seem to thrive when everything else was dead. You get these trees that are evergreen, that never lose their leaves. And these were symbols of hope to the life forms that were around at the time. And they would look to these things as somewhat supernatural almost, and they would assign reverence to them, which is why some of these were symbols of the festivals. You have also the mistletoe, you have the chestnut, which provided food for people to roast and eat, sustenance for people to survive the winter. The birds would eat from some of these winter berries, and livestock survived by eating some of this stuff. So that's where the history of a lot of these things come from. I know we take them for granted now because we have technology, and we don't need these things anymore. We stay indoors and we have the same temperature in the house no matter what. We have food flying across from all over the world. That's a bit of rambling. What does that got to do with crypto? Well, as you know, we've had a 4-year crypto cycle up until now. People are saying that that's going to change, but I don't think we're ready for it to change. I think we're still going to have cycles going forward. Now, if you look at Bitcoin, right, it had a 4-year cycle, and as such, all the other cryptos followed suit, right? Occasionally, we have one breakout for no apparent reason or for apparent reason, but more often than not, you'd have all of the cryptos just follow Bitcoin and do what Bitcoin is doing. So you would have a bear market, which would be sort of basically the winter. We even refer to some of it sometimes as crypto winter. An example of crypto winter was 2003. 2003 was basically crypto winter. 2004, what we are now, is actually crypto spring. Crypto summer is next year, 2025. Okay. And then there's crypto autumn, 2026, when things start to nosedive, things start to die, trees start to fall off the crypto trees. People start to harvest, basically sell. And then we're back to crypto winter again, and we do it all again. But as newbies come into the system, and even some people who are veterans appear to forget that things happen in cycles, and that whatever is happening now happened 4 years ago and 8 years before that. People forget that we have ups and downs. People forget that we have ins and outs, and that at the end of the day, we haven't yet entered crypto summer. Not just yet. Now, if you look at the markets, you can see that we are at 62, which is greed. We're about to re-enter extreme greed as the markets start to recover. As you can see, there's a lot of greens everywhere, some reds here and there, usually in the 7-day and the 24-hour, but most of these are now green. Okay, Bitcoin 24 hours green, 1 hour is green, 7 days still red, obviously, because they took that dip. XRP looking good as well. In the last 24 hours, pumped nearly 4%. This is why we always say that dips are a gift. Let's say, for instance, Bitcoin goes down 10%. In order to get back to where it was, it doesn't go back up 10%. It goes back up 20%. So it's always a doubling on the way back up to where it started from. So a big dip is a giant gift because you can make twice as much money going back up. That's why I always try as much as possible to have a little bit of dry powder on the side to capitalize on any market dip, such as the one that we saw recently. And when it comes to XRP, while some people are starting to get a little bit jaded, a little bit frustrated again, even though we're still at a 5x from what we were just 2 months ago, XRP is actually doing pretty well. A lot of interesting developments are happening on XRP. I talked about the T-bills that were being tokenized on the XRP ledger the other day. And now we have announcements from Flare. Flare is kind of a database for blockchains. It's kind of Oracle platform, right? But you can also mint tokens based on tokens that you already hold. So you can then invest those tokens on the Flare system, right? So basically, there are tokens that don't have themselves smart contracts. Some blockchains don't have native staking, for instance. So XRP is such an example that doesn't have native staking. So on this platform, you can create sort of like a synthetic XRP based on the XRP you hold, and then you can stake that and participate in DeFi on the Flare platform. And now they've announced FXRP, which is quite exciting. Now, whether or not I'm going to participate in this, I don't know. I still have to have a good look at it, research it a little bit further, but just showing you that there's a lot of action going on in the background. There's a lot of interest in XRP, a lot of utility that's being created for platforms such as XRP. Take a look at their YouTube channel if you want to learn more about Flare networks. This isn't sponsored or anything. It's just something that I found. There's a hell of a lot of information on it going back about 2 years. I find it a little bit technical. So this is kind of geared towards developers more than anything. So it's one of those sort of really serious type blockchains full of like really geeky sort of people, which I love. I love that stuff. Gives me sort of Avalanche type vibes. So I've been binge watching these videos actually in the past few days since I found that post. And yeah, it's quite interesting. So give them a watch. It's quite interesting. It's good research. You know, as I say, no financial advice, your own research. And you never know, you might be interested in minting your own XRP. For instance, look at one of their pools here, XRP Ugly Kitty. This is their top asset at the moment, from this feed anyway. There's a lot of activity. As you can see, there's XRP, Doge, Bitcoin, you know, Tether, etc., Ethereum. So, you know, these are different pools that you can participate in. You know, it's a DeFi pool. You see XRP, Xman Flare, Bitfrost Wallet, Chrissy and Andy. So these are all pools, right? So again, not financial advice, your own research. You should probably do a deep dive into what these are. There's also risk of liquidation and losing your minted XRP or whatever. So again, you know, not financial advice, your own research. But my point is, there's a lot going on in the background, a lot of interest, a lot of building, a lot of development in XRP. So don't be disheartened by a little bit of a dip. If you've been fortunate enough to have taken advantage of that dip, you're now back up 4% just in the last 24 hours. So that's a positive. Anyway, I'm going to go out and enjoy the last 5 minutes of sunlight before it goes absolutely dark by 3 o'clock. Not financial advice, do your own research, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.